Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmiddin. Welcome back to lesson number 5 in the Arabic course from Medina University. I just want to encourage everyone to please ensure they have revised and learned all the vocab in the previous lessons. I say this every time. And also to encourage everyone to make sure they are familiar with and understand the grammar that we have done thus far. Because we are going to be doing slightly more complex grammar in this lesson, and we're going to spend a bit of time on it. And I suspect, certainly when I was learning, I had to do this over and over again until I really got it. So I'm going to try and explain it in as much simple terms as possible, with as many examples, because obviously we all know using examples always helps when learning grammar. And it's also important because then when you are reciting Quran, or you're reading any ahadith, or you are doing any work in terms of reading classical literature which don't have the alamat on them, the fathas, kasras and dhammas, you will know what is what. Okay, so grammar is really crucial. For those who didn't like grammar in school, I was one of them. Arabic grammar is actually much more interesting, and it's quite relevant and applicable. Okay, so the learning outcomes from this lesson is we're going to understand and learn about the grammatical rule called mudaf ilayh, which means the possessor and the thing being possessed. We're going to go through a lot of details of that, and we're going to look at examples of what happens if you add a harf jar, which was a preposition prior to this. I'm sure everyone remembers what harf jar is. We've done it, so I hope everyone has revised it. Harf jar. We will also look at different situations in mudaf ilayh, which are exceptions to the rules, and certain words which don't quite fit in it but are also part of these grammatical rules. So we're going to go into this in a fair bit of detail. Then we're going to learn the word ya, which is a harf nida, which is a calling word. So it's a word where you call someone, oh so-and-so, oh Ali, oh Muhammad. This is what ya means. We're going to learn its grammatical rules and the rules that what happens to the words following ya. Okay, and we're going to revise ism and ibn, which means name of and son of, and we're going to revise a bit of hamzatul wasl. So we're going to focus on these various aspects. So mudaf and mudaf ilayh, what does that mean? Let's use a simple two-word sentence. Kitabu Bilalin. Okay, so that means Bilal's book, or if we were to literally translate in the same order, the book of, and the key word is of, Bilal. The book of Bilal. Now, in this situation, you can see kitab is dhamma, and we learnt dhamma, we call it marfu'. We call it marfu' with dhamma. And Bilal here is majroor, yes, with kasra. That is the rule, the general rule regarding mudaf ilayh. So what does that mean? What is the first word? The first word is the thing being possessed, or the possession, while the second word is the possessor. Yep, so the third person or the thing that possesses the first one, and it all follows this order. The book is the thing being possessed of Bilal, who is the possessor. Now, there's certain rules regarding these. So as you've noticed, the first rule is that the possessor will take kasra, as you can see here. So it will have a kasra. So it's taken a kasra, while the first one remains in its sense of having a dhamma marfu. But I'm going to explain the changes that occur there. Now, the kasra in the second one can be double, as in tanween. In this case that we see, there's a tanween kasra, or it can be single, and we're going to look at an example there. While the issue with the rules regarding the mudaf, which is the first word, the possession, this is your mudaf, while this is your mudaf ilay. Okay? So your second word is your mudaf ilay, your first word is your mudaf, which is the possession. The rules regarding the possession is that it cannot have tanween. Okay? Never tanween. Okay? Because the origin of the word is kitabun. Kitabun. Now, if you remember the alif lam rule, alif lam, which this kitab is a general book. It means any book. It's not specific. When you make it definite and specific, you make it alif lam. Alif lam changes the kitabun to al-kitabu. So a definite word does not carry tanween. In the mudaf and mudaf situation, mudaf and mudaf ilay situation, it is also definite, because by adding Bilal to it, you are making it definite. You're saying this is Bilal's book, the book of Bilal. You're specifying it. So again, just like with alif lam, you never have tanween. With mudaf, you never have tanween. So you look at them as similarities. The other rule is you never have alif lam at the start of the word if it's a mudaf. So if we were to take the same word, kitabun, so we are saying any book. And now let's put it into a sentence. هذا kitabun. Okay, this is a book. If we were to make it definite, هذا الكتاب. Okay, so that makes it a definite, specific book, but you need to qualify it. هذا الكتاب لمحمد, belongs to Muhammad. If you want to make it a shorter sentence with mudaf ilay, you change it to هذا كتاب محمد. So as you've noticed, here when we're making it specific, we make it a single dhamma. And similarly here, we will convert it to a single dhamma. So you can never say هذا الكتاب محمد. That is absolutely wrong. You can never have alif lam here, because it's almost double definite. That does not make any sense. Okay, so those are the rules here. That's the general rule. We're going to start building upon them. Now we've given examples of where the mudaf ilay can have tanween kasra. Let's take other examples. Kitabullahi. Right? So firstly, Allah, because it already has alif lam, it's ismul jalala. It never has tanween. However, in this example, you can see there's a single kasra. Let's take another example. Imam mul masjidi. The imam of the masjid. Now, imam, it will never be tanween because it's a mudaf. If it was imamu masjidin, it could be imamu masjidin. But we're talking about a specific mosque, so imamul masjidi. Because it has an alif lam, it's taken a single kasra. You can never have imamul masjidin. Okay, we know with an alif lam, you cannot have two kasras or two dhammas or two fathas. Let's take another example. That's the word imam, another word that looks exactly the same but is spelled differently. Amam, which means in front of. Amamus sayyarati, in front of the car. Amamus sayyarati, in front of the car. And it's not as sayyaratin because there's alif lam. Okay. Another example. خلف المدرسة, behind the school. Okay. It's not double because there's an alif lam. Okay. So to summarize, mudaf, mudaf ilay, mudaf does not ever take tanween at the end, and you can never place alif lam at the start because it's already definite, it's already being specified by the idafa, by the addition of the word in front of it. And that addition of the word, which is your mudaf ilay, is always majroor, and majroor in general is with kasra. Right, so let's build upon this. Let's take another example. Let's take a sentence without mudaf ilay and then see what happens when we add a mudaf ilay. So it's going to be a slightly longer sentence, but bear with me. Qa, ba, ba, which means to catch. Jalun, a man. Ala lissi, which means a thief. So a man caught, literally it means a man caught on the thief. Now, obviously, in Arabic, that's how you say it. In English, we would not have the on, but this translates to a man caught the thief. Now, Rijal here is very general. That's not a specific person. So if we want to stipulate who it is, we will change that to another word. So Rijal Ushur Pati. So now we are saying قبض رجال الشرطة على اللص. So we're saying the police officer caught the thief. So Rijal means, it's the plural of Rajul, the police officers. Ash-Shurta means the police. So we're saying the police officers. And now, literally what that means is the people of police. Remember, we said of, that sort of is a very good English way of trying to remember what's mudaf, mudaf ilayh. So what have we converted? We've converted the tanween here to single dhamma because we said mudaf can never have tanween, and the word following it, which is the mudaf ilay, is majroor, which has got a kasra. Okay, so this was a nice example of converting a sentence without a mudaf by adding a mudaf, without a mudaf ilay, adding a mudaf ilay, modifying its grammatical rules and its alamat, but providing additional information. So now it's clear who exactly caught the thief. Let's take other examples. كتاب العلوم. Science book. Science book. علومي. مضاف مضاف إليه. حديقة الحيوان. حديقة means a park, and حيوان means animal. So actually, it's literally in English, it means zoo. But if you were to translate it directly, it would mean park of, remember, مضاف إليه, حيوان, animals. Okay, so yes, you will end up directly translating a lot of words before you translate it into English appropriately. Okay, so this حيوان here is the إضافة. Now, if we were to just say park, we would say حديقة. Or if we would make it alif lam, it would be al-hadi or two. But by adding al-hayawan, we have clearly specified exactly what we are talking about. Okay, we will do a little bit more examples at the end. Let's just build upon them. So far we've learned what mudaf ilayh is in general. Now, there are other situations which also count as mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Now, whoever remembers the previous lesson, we did what we called dhamir. Yes, dhamir means pronouns. Yes, and we did huwa, hiya. Now, sometimes you add the pronoun to the end of a word. So, for example, when you add who or ha, that's a pronoun. For example, kitabu hu. Yeah, these are meant to be joined. I'm separating them out to make a point. This means the book of him. Who means him. Kitabu ha, the book of her. So her book, his book. Okay. And if you were to, I mean, there are many other pronouns in this situation. For example, kitabi, my book. Kitabuna, our book. Na means our book. E means my book. And so on. There are many, many, many more. I don't want to add all of that. I don't want to confuse you. I want us to just build upon the basic principles. Any of these pronouns that are added after a noun is also mudaf ilayh. Okay, now here's where it starts to get a little bit confusing, but let me make it simple. Because normally we know mudaf ilayh should be majroor. These are some of the exceptions because hu, ha, I, na, these cannot change. So they remain the way they are, but grammatically they are called mudaf ilayh. So they're called mudaf ilayh, but do not change. Okay? They do not change to kasra because you can't. You can't say kitabu hui. It just doesn't work. It does not work. So your pronouns that are added to the end of a noun, they remain in their own original form. However, they are still called mudaf ilayh, which is why the previous word here, kitab, is mudaf. So you can never have, remember, the same rules apply. You can never say al kitabuhu. You can never have an al there because it's not possible, because it's already stipulated by adding the pronoun. Similarly, you can never have kitabun hu. That doesn't work because you can never have tanween on your mudaf. Okay, so the same rules apply. Okay. Another Another example of an exception is when we add the word man. We will deal with that. So if we were to add the word man, which means who or whom or whose. So let's say we're asking a question. We're asking a question. Kitabu man. Whose book? هذا. Whose book is this? Man again is mudaf ilayh. So it comes under the mudaf ilayh, but it does not change. Okay, so it's mudaf ilayh, but it does not change. Okay, because it's not possible. It's a word that can only be expressed in one form. Just like kitabuhu, kitabuha, kitabi, kitabuna, these can only be expressed in one way. They cannot possibly change. So man is another example of the exception. So kitabu man, qalamu man. Yeah. Qalamu man. Again, this is mudaf ilay, and similarly, qalam and kitab follow the same rules of mudaf, meaning you will never have kitabun man, you will never have qalamun man, and likewise, you will never have al-kitabu man or al-qalamu man, because you're asking about a specific book or pen by adding the man. So you're stipulating a particular one. Okay. If it's confusing, re-listen to this over and over again with examples, but we're definitely going to be going through more examples, inshallah. So the next situation that we said, you have mudaf and mudaf ilay situation. You have a mudaf ilay situation is after something called dharf. Now, what does dharf mean? Dharf describes a circumstance or a situation. And you can have ظرف زمان, ظرف مكان. Okay, ظرف زمان and ظرف مكان. مكان means a place, or you can have ظرف زمان, which is denoting a time. And we're going to get examples of these. So, for example, the words فوق. فوق means on top of or above. So let's say فوق الشجرة. Rati. Now, I understand some of this vocab that we're doing is not necessarily in this lesson, but actually this is a good way of building upon more vocab. فوق الشجرة, on top of the tree, or on the tree. Now that's, this shajarati is your mudaf ilay, so it becomes kasra. Same rules apply. We don't need to repeat it. Same rules apply. This is your mudaf ilay. Now, fawqa, these are words again that cannot change, so they remain in one way. So fawqa will always be fawqa. Amamal madrasati, in front of, remember, in front of the school. Taht, which means under. Tahtal kursi, under the chair. And there's your kasra. When you have a shad, you write the kasra under the shad. You can write it under the whole letter, but it's generally preferably to write it under the shad. So under literally means under of or beneath of the chair. Khalf which means behind. Al-babi, behind the door. Another one again. So these are all dharf, makan. Makan means dharf, situations describing location. So fawq, amam, taht, khalf. Bain. Bain means in between. I'm sure there are many more, and we'll develop them as we move on. But I'm trying to give a good foundation to these. So bain. Bain means in between. Bain al-kitabi, between the book. So if we were to put that into a sentence, we can say الرسالة, the letter, بين الكتاب. The letter is in between the book or inside the book. Okay, or you can say بين الكتب, between the books. The point is كسرة مضاف إليه. It's a ظرف مكان. And other examples we can use for ظرف زمان include بعد, قبل, for example. So we can say بعد الظهر, after ظهر. قبل الفجر, before the Fajr prayer. Okay, and so on. So the rule is these dharf, they don't change. They remain in one way, but they are your mudaf. And the word that follows them, which is dhuhr, fajr, shajara, madrasa, whatever the words we have, those will follow the rules of mudaf ilayh, i.e. they will be majroor. Okay, right. Okay, moving on. There are other words which are popular words that are also considered that where any word following them are considered mudaf ilayh. So specifically, there are many words in Arabic that don't quite fit exactly a rule, but they come under other rules. So let's take, for example, these are called kalimat mashhura, which are just popular words, where after them you have mudaf ilayh. These are ones just to memorize. For example, kullu, ba'd. Ba'd means some of. It doesn't mean ba'd, which is after. Ba'd. Jami'u. Ghayru, which means other than. So jami' means all of. Ghayr means other than. Siwa, not siwi, siwa. This is a alif, but it's written like a ya. It's called alif maksura. Siwa means apart from. Okay, let's take examples. Kullul awladi, all of the boys. مضاف إليه مجرور. بعض الكتب, some of the books. بعض العلماء, some of the scholars. So مضاف إليه. Okay, these words all have the genitive case, as we said, but we don't want to use that word. We want to call it majroor with kasra. جميع الطلاب, all of the students, or جميع الكتب. Yeah, all of them. So this is also مضاف إليه مجرور. غير الله, other than Allah. It's اسم الجلالة مجرور. Okay, so you can say, for example, لا, don't. La means no, but when you add something like this, لا تدعو, it means it's an order. Don't worship غير الله, other than Allah. غير الله rather. Siwa is a similar meaning. So it just, but it rather than mean other than, it means apart from. So سوى الله, اسم الجلالة مجرور. And in another sentence, لا تتبع سوى الحق. سوى الحق. Yes, so it's got a majroor. That's kasra, meaning don't follow anything apart from the truth. Now, just a little recap. I don't want people to confuse mudaf ilayh with harf jar. Okay, harf jar is different. Okay, so we've done that in the last lesson. If you can't remember, go back and revise our discussion around harf jar. So words such as ala, fi, ila, etc., the words that follow them are also majroor with kasra, but they are not mudaf ilayh. They are the jar or majroor. They are not harf jar. Sorry, they are not mudaf ilayh. So just because they both are majroor, they both have kasras, they are not the same grammatical rule at all. So please don't confuse yourselves with these two. Okay. So we touched on man, so that's enough for mudaf ilayh. There are many examples we can use, and we'll do a bit of that actually in a moment. But let's go on to man. And after we've done man, we will do a little bit more examples of mudaf ilayh. So regarding man, we said man means who. Okay, we got that. And if you remember, we discussed it briefly. If I say kitabu man, that means whose book is this? The man here does not change. Okay, it's built on one form and it remains in that form. It cannot change regardless of its position in a sentence. Okay, and the reason why this is a separate slide is because it's really, really important to not try and modify it. And it does happen. People learning Arabic have all tried to change things that are not supposed to be changed. Okay, that is again just the important rule. So this does not change, but it is mudaf ilay, and this one is your mudaf. So recapping, you cannot have alif lam and you cannot have tanween. Okay, good. So that is the review of that. That's man. That's really all we need to say about man. Moving on for some other examples of mudaf and mudaf ilay, just for those who want to, and they're going to be slightly longer sentences, but we will try and they help to elaborate. So لعبنا, we played. في, فناء المدرسة. We played. Fina means courtyard. In the courtyard of the madrasa. Now, some of you may be looking and wondering, why does fina have kasra and not fina'u? Good question. Normally, it would be fina'ul madrasati. Now, we know madrasa here is mudaf ilay because it's the courtyard of the school. So that's simple. So why has that fina'u changed to fina'i? And that is because if you look here in this sentence, prior to fina, we have added a harf jar. And that harf jar has converted fina'u to fina'i. Okay, so here's an example of placing just a mudaf ilayh inside a sentence and how it can change. The madrasa does not change. You can never add an alif lam to the fina, but it can change from a dhamma to a fatha or a kasra. And in this case, it turned to a kasra because we have added a harf jar to it, fi. Okay? Another example. أغلقت, which means I locked or I closed. مصراعي, which means the lock, the valve. الباب, مضاف إليه, the lock of the bed. Oh, sorry, the lock of the door. Lock of the door. So this is, we agree, مضاف إليه. مصراعي is another example of a word. It means lock. It doesn't change. It remains the same. Okay, but it's مصراعي الباب. So this is an example of another مضاف إليه. Let's take another example. غسلت, I washed. يدي الطفل, يدي الطفل. Right, so that's a fatha, and it's a fatha for another reason, which we will discuss in another lesson, inshallah. Okay, not in this lesson. Hopefully, soon we're going to discuss the differences and the components of a jumla ismiya and a jumla fi'liya. So yaday here is fatha because of its position in relation to this sentence. However, it does not have alif lam, as you can see, and it does not have tanween fatha at all. And tifl is majroor. Okay, let's take another example. Rakib, too many. Rakib, two, meaning I rode, I got onto. Qitara, now remember, just like there's fatha there up here, because of the position of this word in this sentence, this is also fatha, but it's not tanween. But if I'm adding a word, as-sabahi, the morning train. Rakibtu, I got onto, I rode. Qitara, the train. As-sabahi, of the morning. So, majroor with kasra, no alif lam, no tanween, because that's mudaf. Okay. Now another example. Al-hulmu, which means patience, tolerance, nice manners. سيد الأخلاق. Now here it's dhamma because of its position. Its position in this sentence, in where al-hulmu, it's not meant to change it to a fatha, so it remains in its original form. Sayyidul Akhlaq is the best of manners, and morals and behavior. So akhlaqi is your mudaf ilay. As we can see, it's majroor with kasra, and here your sayyid is your mudaf, and therefore it does not have alif lam and does not have tanween. Okay, good. So that's a fair number of examples. We're going to move on. We've discussed the mudaf, such as, so this is discussing our dharf, so we don't need to go through it again. So dharf, remember, which was the circumstance or situation. We have dharf zaman and dharf makan. Okay, so a describing situation relating to time and relating to location and place. And we've done that, we've been through it. So our makan would be, for example, fawq, above, amam, in front of, etc. So all of those, the words following it will be mudaf ilay, and dharf zaman, as we said, for example, ba'd, qabl, and so on. Okay, so the words following them will be mudaf ilay and will therefore obey the rules of mudaf ilay. Okay, sorry about that little glitch. Now, the final bit we're going to talk about before we start going through the lesson is the words such as ism and ibn. Now, ism means name, name of, name. Ibn means son, or son of, literally. So, if we were to say, for example, ismul waladi. So, ismul waladi means the name of the boy. Ismul waladi hamidun. Okay, notice ism, the word following it is majroor because it is mudaf ilay. Okay, as well, similar rule. This is another example of words that are mudaf ilay. Okay, another example, ibn. So what happens? Ismun over here, ismun becomes ismu, ismul waladi. It will not be ismun al walad, ismul waladi, because your ism is now your mudaf. Ibnun becomes ibnul mudarrisi, for example, son of the teacher. Okay, and so on. Now, if we were to add a word prior to it that will join, remember the alif here is a hamzatul wasl. It's a joining alif. So if I would say in a sentence, ismul waladi hamidun wa ibn lul mudarrisi khalidun We remember that this is Hamzatul Wasl, therefore it's a joining Hamza. It's a weak Hamza. So you don't pronounce the alif. You remove that, you put a little sign like that, and you say Wabnul Mudarrisi Khalidun. Okay, so Ismul Waladi Hamidun Wabnul Mudarrisi Khalidun. And you can also say another sentence Ismul Waladi Hamidun Wasmul Mudarrisi Khalidun. It's just recapping on Hamzatul Wasl. Okay, right, so now we can begin the actual lesson in the book. So, lesson number 5, we're going to try and go through it fairly rapidly, but trying to understand everything. So, الدرس الخامس, the 5th lesson. أكتاب محمد هذا يا ياسر. So look, we're already looking at the grammatical rules we have learned. So breaking this sentence apart, is the question. So that's turning it into a question. Kitabu Muhammadin. Kitabu Muhammadin. So mudaf ilay. Already we know there's majroor with kasra, and this is single dhamma. Akitabu Muhammadin hadha ya yasiru. So what does that mean? So you're saying ya yasir, oh yasir. Now, the other grammatical rule here is the word ya. Ya is what we call harf da. Harf nida is a calling out word. So you say, oh, so and so. So the grammatical rule for harf nida is that it never changes. It always remains ya. B, any word following it. So let's take the word yasir as an example. Yasirun, which is a name, yasirun. When you add a ya in front of it, so you say ya, as in this case, ya yasir, you remove the tanween. It becomes ya yasiru. Okay, that's an absolute rule. So you will not have a tanween. You will not have a tanween. So let's take the word Ali. Aliyun. Ya Aliyu. It changes to Ya Aliyu. Now, there are some names which don't have tanween. For example, they're like composite names called Ilmul Murakkab. So, for example, the name Abdullahi, the son of Allah. Sorry, the worshipper of Allah. A'udhu billah. The worship of Allah. Or Abdul Hamid, the worshipper of Al-Hamid. We know, so this is a composite word. What happens to that dhamma when you add ya, oh Abdullah, you're calling out to him. It becomes ya Abdallahi. So rather than going from a tanween to a single dhamma, it changes to fatha. Ya Abdal Hamidi. Okay? Right. I think regarding this, we will pause on the ya and we will build upon it in the future. But for now, this should suffice. And this should explain why you have ya yasiru and not ya yasirun. La hada kitabu Hamidin. No, this is the book of Hamid, Hamid's book. So this is your mudaf ilay. Your mudaf ilay. Aina kitabu Muhammadin. Where is the book of Muhammad? Where's Muhammad's book? Again, mudaf ilay. هو على المكتب هناك. It is, so it, because book is masculine, it, but masculine it. هو على المكتب. حرف جر. على is حرف جر. المكتبي is the table, but it's maktabi because of the ala. هناك means there. أين دفتر عمار? Where is Ammar's notebook, or the notebook of Ammar? Again, مضاف إليه. هو على مكتب المدرس. It is on the table of the teacher. Now notice maktab al-mudarrisi. It's not al-maktab al-mudarrisi. It's maktab because now two rules have occurred. We have converted. So al-maktab ul. So al-maktab, by adding al-mudarris to it, by adding a mudaf ilay, it becomes maktabul mudarrisi. So that already eliminates the alif lam. And by adding a ala, which is a harf jar, it converts the maktabu to maktabil mudarrisi. So just if you do it in that order, then you will be able to understand. The original word is maktabun. By adding a alif lam to it, becomes al maktabu. By adding a mudaf ilayh to it, it eliminates the alif lam. By adding an ala at the start, it makes it majroor. Okay. قلم من هذا يا علي? Whose pen is this, O Ali? And remember, Ali, it's not Aliyun, Ya Aliyu. هذا قلم المدرس. This is the pen of the teacher. أين حقيبة المدرس? Where is the case or the bag of the teacher? Again, حقيبة المدرس مضاف مضاف إليه. هي تحت المكتب. It is under the table, and that should be kasra there. تمارين, exercises. أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Because of the print, it's missing some bits, but this is أجب. So answer the following questions. And you need to make these up. أين كتاب محمد? So we can say كتاب محمد على المكتب. أين كتاب عمار؟ كتاب عمار في الحقيبة. So we can say كتاب عمار في الحقيبة. Again, we need to, that's a حرف جر. أين حقيبة المدرس? Where is the bag of the teacher? So you can say, so you need to start off your sentence with حقيبة المدرس تحت, which means under, تحت المكتب, under the table. Okay. أضف الكلمات الأولى إلى الثانية. Now this is a very good exercise. So pause, do it, and then check if you've got them right. And because the space is limited, I may have to write. I will probably just modify the alamat, the dhamma kasra on the question rather than rewriting the whole thing. Okay. So what they're saying is change those two words into mudaf mudaf ilayh. So as you can see at the top here, there's kitabun Muhammadun. So they're saying add an idafa, add a mudaf ilayh to the word kitab. So book, rather than just saying book Muhammad, the book of Muhammad, what have they done? They've converted the tanween dhamma to single dhamma and the Muhammadun to Muhammadin. So qalamun hamidun will become qalamu hamidin, the pen of Hamid. Baytu Abbasin, the house of Abbas. غرفة علي becomes غرفة علي. دفتر سعيد, the notebook of Sa'id. منديل ياسر, the handkerchief of Yasir. قميص عمار, the shirt of Ammar. سرير خالد, the bed of Khalid. Here they're showing you with alif lam. So there's no Muhammadun, there's no mudarrisun, there's mudarrisu. So it becomes maktabul mudarrisi. So miftahun al-baytu, miftahul. So that converts the dhamma to single, al-bayti, the key of the door. Dukkanut tajiri, the door or the shop of the merchant. Baytul Muhandisi, the house of the engineer. Ismul Waladi, the name of the boy. Kitabullahi, the book of Allah. Bintu Tabibi, the daughter of the doctor. Miftahus Sayyarati, the key of the car or car key. Okay. اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. So, as we've done, this is roughly in every single exercise. You have this sort of exercise, which is to add the dhamma, fatha, kasras to the end of it, which is the alamat. Okay, so do them first before you do them with me. So this is babul madrasati, the door of the school. Himarur rajuli, the donkey of the man. Baytu Hamidin, the house of Hamid. Sayyaratul Mudiri, the car of the head teacher. Mindilu Ammarin, the handkerchief of Ammar. Ismu Talibi, the name of the student. Baytullahi, the house of Allah. Fi Kitabillahi. It's Kitabillahi because of the harf jar. Otherwise, it's Kitabullahi. Min, again, harf jar, so we know it's going to be Baytil Mudarrisi, from the house of the teacher. Ala Maktab al Mudiri, on the desk of the teacher. And it's majroor because of the ala. Okay, moving on. Iqra. Aina, so read. Aina Baytul, and please, before you do this, before you listen, put the dhammas, fathas, kasras. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. أين بيت المدرس? Where is the house of the teacher? هو بعيد, it is far. القرآن كتاب الله. The Quran is Allah's book. الكعبة بيت الله. Kaaba is the house of Allah. محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم رسول الله, is the messenger of Allah. خرج المدرس من. So غرفة المدير, this is your مضاف مضاف إليه. So normally it would be غرفة المدير. Normally it would be غرفة المدير. However, we're adding a a min in this case, before that word, so it will convert that dhamma to a kasra. So min غرفة المدير. So the teacher left, literally means exited the teacher from the room of the head teacher. So it means the teacher left the head teacher's room. هذا بيت حامد. This is Hamid's house, or the house of Hamid. وذلك بيت خالد, and that is Khalid's house. Ibn Ammar, the son of Ammar. طالب is a student. Wabnu, remember, it's Hamzatul Wasl. We don't say wa ibnu, we say wabnu, and the son of Yasiru Tajirin. Wabnu Yasirin Tajirun is a merchant, and the son of Yasir is a merchant. Tajirun and Talibun, they are a different grammatical rules. They stay in their original sense. Baytul Mudarrisi, the house of the teacher. So mudaf mudaf ilayh. Ba'idun is far away. Wa baytut tajiri qaribun, it is near, and the house of the merchant is near. هذا مفتاح السيارة. This is the key of the car. أين مفتاح البيت? Where is the key to the house? من أنت يا ولد? Who are you? يا ولد. So remember, waladun becomes ya waladu. أنا ابن عباس. I am son of Abbas. وابن من هو? And remember, ibn, wabnu, you don't say wa ibnu because hamzatul wasl. Wabnu man, and whose son is that? And whose son? Huwa is that, or is he? Huwa ibn Khalidin. He is Khalid's son. Aina masjidu. Where is the masjid? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Huwa, it is fi Madina. Now this is obviously we're missing out a little bit, so let me add that there. Fi Madinatil Munawwarati. It's in Medina. بنت حامد في المدرسة. بنت حامد في المدرسة because of حرف جر. وبنت محمد في الجامعة is in the university. اسم المدرس سعيد واسم المهندس خالد. عم طالب. عم الطالب. So this is a alif lam, so it's not bin. This is where I'm trying to trick you. عم الطالب غني. The uncle of the student is rich. غني. باب المسجد مضاف مضاف إليه مفتوح. The door of the masjid is open. وباب المدرسة, and the door of the school is مغلق, locked. قال حامد. خال حامد or خالو حامد, which means the uncle. Now in Arabic, compared to English, in English everyone's an uncle and everyone's an auntie, whether they're from your maternal side or your paternal side. In Arabic, we have which is your father's brother, and amma, which is your father's sister. And khal versus khala. Khal. Khalun versus khala. Khal is your mother's brother, and your khala is your mother's sister. Okay, so khalu hamidin faqirun, the maternal uncle of Hamid is poor. Sayyaratu Abbasin, the car of Abbas, fishari'i, is in the street, literally, but what it means on this part on the street. And it's ashari'i because fi is harf jar. Ibnu man anta, whose son are you? You, anta. Ana, I am. Ibnul mudarrisi, I am the son of the teacher. Okay, now remember we said ibnu man, so ibnu, that's your mudaf, man is your mudaf ilay, but it does not change. It remains as man. So there's no majroor, there's no kasra. Ayn al kalbu, where is the dog? So this is not mudaf mudaf, this is a simple question. Huwa, it is or he is. Tahta sayyarati, under the car. Okay, moving on. Fill in the complete the sentences, and again, can I request you guys to complete the sentence before going through it with me. كون جملا مفيدة بملء الفراغ فيما يلي. So fill in the blanks to create appropriate sentences. So باب البيت مغلق, the door of the house is locked. أين مفتاح السيارة, where's the key of the car? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah, is the messenger of Allah. This is meant to be بعيد. بيت الطبيب. You can put any word you want. These are just some words that I am choosing. Because the space is narrow. بيت الطبيب, the house of the doctor, is بعيد, far away. القرآن كتاب الله, is the book of Allah. خديجة, خديجة, أخت, is the sister of حامد. أنا ابن, I am the son of the مدرسي. قلم الطالب مكسور, the pen of the student is broken. Sorry about that. باب البيت, the door of the house or the house's door. باب البيت مفتوح, is open. خرج المدرس من, that's very tiny space for me to write. So خرج المدرس, which means the teacher exited, left. من, we can say من غرفة المدير. So from the head teacher's office. Now مديري is obviously kasra because it's مضاف إليه. غرفتي is kasra because of min before it. min غرفة, and it's not al-ghurfa because it's a مضاف. Okay, good. صحح التركيبات التالية. So correct the following. So here we have القلم الطالبي. So that we know is incorrect because you cannot have alif lam. So it will be قلم الطالب. Bintu Hamidun. Now we know that's wrong. It's the daughter of Hamid. So it will be Bintu Hamidin. Ismul Walada. That's wrong. It's the name of the boy. So it will be Ismul Waladi. Babu Sayyaratu. That's obviously wrong because it's meant to be the door of the car. Babu Sayyarati. Ar-Rasulullah. This is meant to be this is just nothing written. Ar-Rasulullah. He. Now, why is that completely wrong? Because it cannot have alif lam. So it will be Rasulullah, not Ar-Rasulullah. Ibnul Mudarrisi. Now here they've written Ibnun. So it's only Ibnul Mudarrisi because we know Mudaf cannot take a double dhamma or double anything for that matter. Okay. Now here they are recapping on what we've discussed, which is the use of Ya, which is harf nida. Again, harf nida. So what does it do? It converts the double dhamma to single. So Muhammadun becomes Ya Muhammadu, O Muhammad. Khalidun becomes Ya Khalidu. Ustadun becomes Ya Ustadu. Waladun becomes Ya Waladu. Okay. And the additional one that we learned, for example, Abdullahi, which is a name, which is the slave of Allah. When you add Ya to it, it becomes Ya Abdallahi, because you can't, it's already a single dhamma, so you convert it to a fatha. Okay, right, good. Now again, pause, do the following exercise, and then take it from there. So اقرأ واكتب ما ضبط وآخر الكلمات. Complete the words by adding their dhammas, fathas, and kasras. Okay, so Ya Aliyu, it's not Ya Aliyun, Ya Aliyu. Ya Abbasu, Shaykhun, Ya Shaykhu, Ya Rajulu. This is meant to be Yasir, but there's a bit missing. So it would be Yasirun. Ya Ammaru, O Ammar. Dukturun, Ya Dukturu. So it's trying to get you used to converting from, by converting the alamat on the words based on the presence of Ya. Okay. اقرأ المثال الآتي ثم كون أسئلة مثله مشيرا إلى الصور التالية. So read the example and then complete questions related to the diagram. So this is a book. كتاب من هذا. So this is a pen. We're going to ask a question. We'll say قلم من هذا. Here we will say this is a shirt and this is a house. So we will say قميص من هذا وبيت من هذا. Okay. And here this is a bed, so it is سرير من هذا. So emphasizing that سرير, بيت, قميص, قلم, they're all your mudaf, kitabu, so they do not have tanween, but also emphasizing the point that the word man remains the same. It does not change at all. Okay, now we're going to do some examples of what we discussed, which was, again, this is missing because of the print, so apologies. Here it's saying is the word ism, and here it's talking about the word ibn. Okay, so ism, so it's ismul waladi, so the name of the boy. This is your mudaf ilayh again. Muhammadun is Muhammad. Now, rather than saying wa ismu, we say wasmu because hamzatul wasl, wasmul binti, and the name of the girl is Zainabu. Okay, and remember Zainabu, not Zainabun, because it's a feminine proper noun. Ismul mudarrisi, the name of the teacher is Hamidun. Masmul mudiri, not ma ismu. Masmu, what? Ma is what? Ismu al mudiri, what is the name of the head teacher? Ibn Khalidin fil madrasati, the son of Khalid. Fil madrasati, fi is harf jar, so the word after it is majrur with kasra. Now, rather than wa ibnu, wabnu, and the son of Hamidin, of Hamid, fil jami'ati is in the university, and it's jami'ati because of the fi, which is a harf jar. Okay. Again, another example, Ibnul Mudarrisi, the son of the teacher, fil fasli, fi harf jar, makes it majroor, kasra. Aina Ibnul Mudiri, where is the son of the head teacher? So the son of the teacher is in the classroom. Aina Ibnul Mudiri, where is the son of the head teacher? Okay, good. Finally, last page, because a lot we've covered over here, so I really would recommend going through this several times, 3 or 4 times, and if there are questions that weren't certain, comments, put them in the comment section. We'll discuss them next time. So اقرأ ما يلي مراعيا قواعد نطق حمزة الوصل. So now here, they're just trying to emphasize the rules regarding Hamzatul Wasl. So here we have ibn at the start of the sentence, so it remains ibnu Muhammadin, the son of Muhammad, mudaf ilayh, fil Iraqi, is in Iraq, Now, rather than saying wa ibnu, we say wabnu Hamidin, wabnu, because Hamzatul Wasl, Hamidin, and the son of Hamid is fil Hindi, is in India. Kharaja, exited, left. Ibnu al-Tabibi, Ibnu al-Tabibi, the son of the doctor. Min, from, al-Bayti, which is harf jar, so al-Bayti becomes majroor, min, from the house. So the son of the doctor left the house. Dhahaba, went. Ibnu, son of. At-Tajiri, Ibnu al-Tajiri, the son of the merchant. Ila, to, harf jar, as-Suqi, to the shops, to the mall. Ismul Muhandisi, the name of the engineer, so mudaf ilayh. Faysalun is Faisal. Wasmut Tabibi, and the name of the doctor, Mas'udun, is Mas'ud, so not wa ism, wasm, because of Hamzatul Wasl. Ma, now, normally you'd say ma ismul rajuli, but because ism and ibn have hamzatul wasl at the start, you add a word to it, you eliminate that, and you skip the I, alif, and go to mas. So masmur rajuli. What's the name of this, the man? Ibn, ibnu man, son of who? Anta, whose son are you? Ana, I am ibnul waziri. Ana ibnul waziri. I am the son of the wazir. And wazir is like, you use these, you don't use these very often, but ibnul waziri is the minister. So Ana ibnul waziri. I am the son of the minister, the wazir. So in summary, some of the words we've learned: ar-rasul, messenger, which is different to nabi. Okay, nabi means prophet, and messenger means messenger. Rasul means messenger. Okay, and not all nabi were prophets, and that's a fiqhi discussion. Kaaba is the direction we pray to. We don't pray to, we don't, it's not something we pray to, it's the direction, our qibla, that we're supposed to pray towards, in order to unify everyone. Al-ismu, it is the name, because I think the reason why I stated that is that people think, why are we worshipping a box? We are not worshipping a box, we are worshipping all in one direction that Allah has commanded us to, which is Al-Kaaba. And it's also the same direction that all the messengers prior to him would pray towards. Al-ibnu, which means son. Al-ammu is your paternal uncle. Khal, maternal uncle. Haqiba, we did this. Case. Sayyara, car. Shari', street. Mughlaq, locked. Taht, under. Hunak means there. Now, just to add some to it, hunaka means there, and huna means here. Add that to your vocab. Mughlaq means locked. The opposite of it is maftuh, open. Okay. So I think we have discussed all of this. So we've discussed mudaf, mudaf ilayh in a fair amount of detail. We've discussed harf nida, which is ya, and we've reviewed hamzatul wasl. Okay. And these are some of the vocab that we've learned. We definitely did add some more vocab to it, because that's a better way to do it, by using some additional examples. So please feel free to add that to your vocabulary list. And Jazakallah khairan. Thank you very much for your attention. Any mistakes, I apologize and seek forgiveness. And any mistakes is from shaitan, particularly when it's relating to the deen. If I have commented on something which is not accurate, but please feel free to comment, and please can you review these multiple times so that you are familiar with the grammar, because as we're moving on, we're going into more complex sentences. Jazakallahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.